Let me say a special good morning to one of our listeners, those of you via Classic 105, whether it's 105.5 or 105.9. Good morning. Those of you in via GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channel 11, or Channels 20, good morning. Welcome to another edition of To The Point. I'm your host, GT with you. And you got me for the next hour, along with my guest, who I will introduce shortly. Saying good morning to our social media audience, also those of you via our social media platform. Let's say good morning to those of you via our Facebook page or YouTube channel. Good morning, those of you via GBN website, gbn.gd. Welcome to another edition of To The Point. And you know what happens on a Thursday here on To The Point? Of course, departments of the Royal Grenada Police Force, and this one we do have the immigration. Somebody mixed up with it. I just been saying is immigration part of the Royal Grenada Police Force. I'm probably going to ask the lovely ladies that shortly, but let them introduce themselves this morning. Good morning to you, ladies, and welcome to The Point this morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. Well, we do have the immigration department with us this morning. It could be a weird question to ask. Immigration department part of the Royal Grenada Police Force, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, good. Well, I'm assuming you're here, so that's the reason. So this morning we have, as I said, the immigration department this morning, and when individuals think about the immigration department, they think about folk coming into the country. You understand that way immigration is part of that. But the department that we'll be focusing a lot with both of you this morning is the department that deals with the various services that are offered. You understand? So let's talk about these services that are offered by the immigration department. Who's want to take up on that this morning?
Okay, so good morning again to all the listeners. My name is Woman Police Constable number 12 Patrick, and have been attached to the Passport and Immigration Department for the last 13 years. It's a great experience working there. The Immigration Department, we offer various services to people in Grenada, right? So we don't only work at the airport when you come into Grenada to stamp passport, but you can come to the Botanical Gardens where we offer many services. We do services like issuing passports to citizens of Grenada. You can come to Grenada. If you're a visitor also and you want to have extension of stay, you can come to the office where you can have your time extended. For example, a visitor is here and you have been stamped for 3 months. And let's say you had a good time here and you want to stay a little longer. As you know, Grenada is a very beautiful place. So you can come, you make an application where you fill out an extension of stay form, and you can have your time extended here. And in doing so, you will be interviewed, and once the extension of stay is granted, once you fit the requirements to extend your time here, then the service is $75 per month. So you want to stay for 2 months, it's $75 times 2. So yes, we also offer other services like.
Before we give it all these services, let's take a point on this for passports. An individual interested in obtaining a passport locally, as a local, what the process that individual has to go through?
Okay, good morning. Good morning to the listeners. I am WRC Alexis. So for persons obtaining a Grenadian passport, as you heard the word Grenadian, which means that only Grenadian citizens can hold a passport.
Okay.
So for instance, I'm assuming you're speaking of someone who were born here.
That's a Grenadian.
And the first time you're applying for a passport.
Yes.
Okay. So you complete the passport form, which you can get at our office or at any one of our sub-offices, which we have Grenville, Sotes, Carriacou, Guave. So we have sub-offices.
I understand there's also the digital aspect of it also.
Of course, you can go online and you can get a passport form there as well. You can print it from the online. So you can go to Google, which is easier. You type in Grenada passport forms. It's going to come up. You print it. You complete it. So there is the instructions aspect of the form where you can read through and you get all the information needed. You need to present your original birth certificate, which you obtain at the registry, the Birth Centers registry. You need to come with the your photographs, or you can take photographs at our office. The photographs at our office is free, so you can take advantage of that. Or it's your choice if you want to come with your graphs. But if you come in with your photograph, you need to ensure that the person that is recommending your passport form is the same person that is certifying your photograph. Okay, there's a list of persons at the front of the form that can guide you who can recommend.
Why is it important to have the proper person certifying the form and the photo at the same time? Why is it that important? You said certified. Because you said I guess someone have to certify it. Well, whoever's in the photo and then the form that are filled certified.
Well, the reason we always ensure that it must be the same person is because we do not, when we accept the application form and the person who recommend you, so say for instance you use a JP or a qualified teacher, that person look at your photo and they say, okay, they endorse the photo to say that this is you because you presented yourself before that person.
All right, understand.
Okay, so you understand?
I get it, understand. I just wanted the clarification because there are sometimes individuals who are listening and wants to go through the process will be, okay, I go by Tom, I had the form filled, but I go by Jack and I had the photo taken, and Jack say, well, I know you, so I think, but then Tom was the individual that was doing the forms. You understand?
Yes,
so I just wondered if it's the same individual doing the photo and the form should be
the same person.
Okay, great.
So you pay $250, which is a passport fee. You can pay that at the sub office, which is downstairs our office, as Ms. Patrick clearly stated, at the Botanical Gardens, or you can pay at the Treasury main office. Okay. And you come to the office. For persons who's applying for the first time, we always ask them to walk with an identification card. So we take note of that. When that person appeared before the officer at the front desk, the officer will go through the application, ensure that the information that is presented on the birth certificate is the same information that is presented before him or her on the application form. And then it goes through the system, and well, our passport takes 3 days to process.
3 days.
Yes, 3 days to process.
Great. Let me ask you this, because we talk in submission, we talk in the digital list. Can I submit my passport forms and so forth online?
Not as yet, but very soon.
But very soon.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, interesting to know that. All right. So we spoke about passports. You give some details in terms of the process.
Yes.
And how long does a passport is should I say before it expires for
the validity?
The validity of a passport.
Okay, so the passport is valid for 5 years. Yes.
I mean, there's also been concerns that, especially for individuals who have passports and want to obtain visas and stuff like that, been hearing that complaint, hey, I have a passport, I only have 1 more year in it, and then they only give me a year for my visa because there's only 1 year left on my passport.
Well, that shouldn't be because international standards said that the passport should have a validity of 6 months and more. So if your passport has 6 months and more, you shouldn't get a visa for 6 months. You should be able to get a visa for 5 years or 10 years.
Should be. But
yes.
I've been hearing the complaints from individuals pertaining to that, so maybe something the folks in the authority could probably look into and get more information about that. Because folks are saying, I have a passport, I only have 1 year or 6 months, as you said before, but I went to obtain a visa because the folks who are issuing the visa saw that I have only 6 months on the visa, gave me a 6 months visa. On the passport, gave me a visa for 6 months. So after 6 months now, I have to go and reapply and get a new passport and a new visa again. You understand? All right. Now let's go through some of the processes that in terms of the services that you offer. When you said visa, we know we are Grenadians, and I'm assuming visas are only for non-nationals who are coming to Grenada. Who are some of the non-nationals that needs to obtain a visa in Grenada? If that's something you can answer.
Well, we have a list of countries, yes, of the nationals require visa to enter Grenada. So they have to go through this process where...
Is it similar to like how a Grenadian who may want to get a U.S. visa or so, is it the same, almost a similar process?
Well, it's not quite the same. Where with the U.S. visa, you may have to go online and then you may have to appear in person to get that visa. No, not. Ours is not exactly that way. You can stay in the country you are in and apply for a visa.
Okay.
But you can have the passport sent
to Grenada
to have the visa endorsed, and we send it back to you.
Okay.
Because with some countries, they may not allow you to depart your country to enter another country if they haven't satisfied that we will accept you in Grenada. So some of the times the people will send their passport, or other times they may get the visa on arrival at the airport. So we do endorse visa at the airport on arrival, or even withheld the passport at the airport, and it can be sent to the main office where the visa can be endorsed.
Okay, so that's interesting. I'm from a national, I've come to Grenada, but in order to stay in Grenada, I need a visa.
Yes.
So that individual, will be held at the airport for a period of time?
No, they will not be held. Their passport will be kept.
Passport will be held.
Yes.
So they will be permitted to come in.
Yes.
Stay wherever they are allowed to stay, and until that visa is processed.
Yes.
What are the allotted time that Grenada do offers visas for?
Well, we do the single entry, which is valid for 3 months, and we have the multiple entry, is valid for 1 year. So the single entry, it's for one use, as the word says, single entry. But the multiple entry is you can make multiple trips on that visa.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I have heard about it before, but never know that's the process in which it goes through in terms of individuals. You do it like that, which could be beneficial for individual. I come and I know I need a visa, so I can do it, get it done from the airport, goes to the main office, take care of it, and then I've been called in again, and I obtain my visa. That's interesting. That's interesting. Now, there's other services. What are some of the other services that the Immigration Department offer?
Well, we also endorse work permits in the passport. So Trinidad national or any other person who holds a work permit in Grenada, you're not a citizen, but you work here and stay here. So the work permit is issued by the Ministry of Labor. However, you can take that work permit to our office where it can be endorsed in your passport. So it gives you a sort of hassle-free travel if you depart Grenada for a while and you come back in, the work permit is endorsed. So
is there a validity period for work permits?
Yes. Well, most work permits are valid for 1 year.
1 year.
Yes, so every year you have to reapply for a work permit.
Okay.
Yes.
We due for a break. Let's take it, and when we come back, we should chat some more, folks. It's to the point for today, Thursday, the 2nd day of March, and let's take a break. We're coming right back. Stay with us, folks. Don't touch it out.
Mention the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, We have the low power that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course? Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary, Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio, The Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more.
Let me say welcome back to our viewers and listeners this morning. It's to the point for today, Thursday. We have two lovely officers with us this morning from the Immigration Department, and we're talking this morning ways in which you could more of the services that are offered by the Immigration Department. And we've been officers. Welcome back to the point.
Thank you.
The first segment we spent some time. We talked about passports. We talk about the process and some of the services that you offer. Let's continue on the level of passports. Passport types. We'll say. I would probably let you what I want to see, but I'll probably let you say a little bit. Tell me some of the passport types that are available in Grenada?
Okay, so we have the regular passports, we have the official passports, and we have the diplomatic passports.
And the Immigration Department is also responsible for issuing these passports?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, interesting. No, this may be a subject matter that maybe individuals out there who are listening may want to listen up and chiming on. I have lost my passport. For some reason, what's the process now do I have to go through in order to get a passport back again? And after I probably made a complaint, I said I gave the reason how my passport got lost.
Okay. All right, so there's two ways to answer your question. We're going to deal with both of them. Okay, the first one, your passport is valid.
Yeah.
So there's life on it, and you lost that passport. You need to go to the nearest police station and make a report.
Right.
You need to get a copy of that report, or you can do an affidavit. Yeah, then you will apply, complete the application, birth certificate, photograph. But the passport fee will be $500 because that passport is valid. Okay. Then you come to the department, you submit your application, and I have said before that the passport takes 3 days to process. However, a lost valid passport will take longer because the department needs to conduct its own investigation.
Okay.
Then for someone whose passport is already expired, there is no life, that person would do the police report. If the passport has been expired more than 10 years, then when you come to the department, you do a loss form. So you don't need a police report if the passport is expired more than 10 years.
Okay.
Right? And you come to the department with the same application form, birth certificate, photographs. However, your fee will be $250 because the passport has already been expired.
Okay.
And your period to get that passport will be the regular 3 days.
The regular 3 days.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No.
And that's the same for stolen, damaged passports.
Okay, the same process. I was just going to ask you in terms of damaged passports, how was the same price? So it's typically the same process.
Yes.
And when we say damage, maybe it got torn, it got wet, something like that. That's typically the process, the same process you go through.
Yes.
All right, so that's understandable.
And if I should add, when you're submitting, we need all original documents again.
Yes.
We'll treat you as the first-time applicant. And that is why we implore persons to secure your passport. You know, you always try to keep it in a safe place. You go to the bank, you use your passport as a form of ID. Before you leave the bank, you always check to see if you have the passport in your possession, right? At home, you keep it away from children, you know, because a lot of times person come to the office with a passport, but it's all scribbled with children's handwriting, you know, and knowing children, if they get a passport, they will think it's a book, they get a pen, and they will write.
What kind of problem that could cause you? You know, if you mentioned children and they double in your passport, what kind of problem that could cause you in terms of that?
Well, it's an inconvenience to the holder of the passport because, you know, we will have to do our investigation and based on what sometimes an urgent travel could come up. Yes, so it's more of an inconvenience. And remember, if the passport is valid, you will pay $500 for that passport that is damaged and not $250. I mean, come on, in this time, you know, $500 is a lot of money to spend on a passport. And then let's say you have to travel. Imagine the cost of the airline ticket. So it's very important that at all times we secure our passports, you know.
All right.
Yes.
And also to add, when you ask what can happen, the department can also charge someone once we do our investigation and we realize that the person willfully damaged a passport or tampers with the passport.
Okay.
You know, sometimes, you know, someone travel abroad and they've been refused and they come back home and they don't want that stamp in their passport.
So they tear the pages.
Yeah. Once the department can prove after our investigation that the person deliberately damaged the passport, the department can take you to court and you can be charged.
Okay,
Yes.
that's interesting there to know.
Yes.
Now another subject line that could be going from. There's an individual who family member may have a mom or dad. Probably they visited a country, spent some time there, and gave birth, and returned to Grenada.
Yeah.
So we talking that's the process of obtaining a passport by descent.
Yes.
How is that process done?
Well, the process is quite easy. Ms. Patrick and I are going to speak about it. So, for instance, my daughter was born in the U.S., as you stated, but I'm Grenadian. So, and I want my daughter to have a Grenadian passport. So she's a Grenadian by descent.
All right.
So in a case like that, I would have to present to the immigration department my birth certificate original, along with my daughter's birth certificate original, completed passport form, the 250 photograph. Okay. Now, the immigration officer, the person that's accepting your application, will go through that application and ensure that the information on my birth certificate and the information on my daughter's birth certificate, it coincides. Right. Okay. So my name, the spelling of my name, and the spelling of my name on my daughter's birth certificate must be the same. So my first name is Maria, Maria, on my birth certificate. Must be the same spelling on my daughter's birth certificate. Okay. So once we see that and we see the link, then the application can go ahead and be in process. Ms. Patrick,
is there any time factor for that, or is it like similar processes like like a regular passport being obtained?
The descent is the regular.
It's a regular passport.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So viewers and listeners out there, if you do have a question or two that you may like to ask the officers, therefore feel free to do so. 435-2041, 435-2041. Feel free to do so. So we spoke about these processes, and it's interesting to know that the process is easy as it is.
Yeah.
I'm seeing someone asking a question online, and they're saying, why do Grenadians have to keep bringing their original documents every time? So do the immigration department keep digital copies of it? Okay, I came in 5 years ago and obtained a passport. All the information that you are asking for, no, I have already submitted. Why do I have to redo it again?
Okay, so not all of the time you have to bring in the original document. So you had a machine-readable passport, it expired, you don't need to bring the original birth certificate to get a passport.
So
you can just bring that passport.
Not a copy, just the passport.
You don't even need to bring the birth certificate. Once you have a machine-readable passport, you don't need to bring the birth certificate unless after you have received that passport, you were married. So you need to bring in the original married certificate.
So only if there is some changes in your status.
Yes. In your status.
Yes. Okay.
Then you need to bring the original document. So let's say, as we said before, with the loss or the damage, you bring in the original documents because we treat you as if you're applying for the first time.
Okay. Great. I think we do have a call online. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing fine, sir. Go right ahead with your question, please.
I just would like to ask maybe two questions. The first one is, why is it you're paying $250 for a passport, and before it was less than that, and you could have gotten 10 years. Now it's $250, and you're getting 5 years. One question. The second question is, could you pay $500 and get 10 years on the passport rather than having to, when the 5 years is up, you come back for another 5?
Thank you for your question, caller. The officer will see if they could answer your question. Go right ahead, officer. Are you able to answer that?
I'll take the second.
You take the second one?
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so the first one.
Why paying $250 for 5 years?
Okay, so basically, looking at security. All right. So that's one of the main reasons the time of the passport has decreased to 5 years, right? You have so much fraud in this world today. So in light of protecting our passport, you know, you make the passport for 5 years. Let's say someone passport was lost and it's in the wrong hand, right? That person has less time with that passport in their possession. Okay, so it's more so for security reasons.
Okay,
right?
To answer the second question, if he asked if you can pay $500 for 10 years, right? Our passport is standard. All passports is 5 years. So you cannot pay
in advance.
No. It's just standard. Everybody passport is 5 years, valid for 5 years.
Okay, let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. Guess we lost that caller there. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let me see if there's any other. Well, I think we do have another caller. Let's entertain the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Morning. Pick one. If we have, for the last 15 years, I began passports 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. I have dual citizenship, not in America, but in the Caribbean. And I get a passport for 5 years, and I get a U.S. visa for 10 years, and the passport expires, and the visa still remain. So I've been having passports for over 15 years, where the passports remain, but the visa is valid. So I still have all these passports. But normally they will take your passport when it's invalid. So I need to find out how that goes.
All right, caller. Thank you. Thank you there for your question this morning. Anyone wants to respond to the caller?
Okay.
If you do.
So what I'm understanding is that he have visa that is in one passport and the passport is expired and he have other passports. So what persons can do, the passport that you have the visa endorsed in, you always keep that one with you along with the passport that is valid. So for instance, you have 3 passports. Your visa, you have a valid visa in one. And you have one that is expired, along with the one that the valid visa in, and you have one that is valid. So out of that 3, you always hold the one that is valid and the one that has the visa endorsed.
Okay.
You carry it together because you do not staple the new passport that we issue. Grenada, this is our 5th year. We've been issuing the electronic passport. We've upgraded. So we always advise persons against stapling that passport.
So you just carry both.
So you just carry both. What you can do, when you come to the department, we show you how to use a rubber band and you can attach both of them. You can use a double-sided tape. Or for persons who travel often, we also advise them that they can get the passport book. And you carry these both passports together.
All right, interesting. We do have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. I would like to find out what's the process for applying for a job at the immigration department.
Well, I'm not sure if the officers may be able to answer that. Are you able to answer that? That's an interesting question.
Most immigration officers, we are police officers.
Right.
So our initial training came from the Royal Grenada Police Force.
All right. So you have to go through the registration, and then you can
process.
probably go down to the different departments.
Although we have civilian staff at the office and at the airport, but they fall under the Imani. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning, sir. I would like to ask your guest. I have a passport that I got and I have not used it. I have not traveled. Now it expires this year. What happens after that if I want to get another one? Do I have to apply for a new passport or can they restamp the current one for the other 5 years?
Let's see if we could respond. Did you get to understand?
Yes, we understand.
Okay, so caller, what I will advise you, once your passport has reached the time for renewal, which is 6 months or less, you will have to apply for a new passport. Despite the fact you didn't use it, you must get a new passport, so you go through the same process all over again. We don't continue with the passport because you have not used it. Okay?
Once it's 5 years.
Once it's
expired.
Used or not, again, it's
You
expired.
have to
You get
replace
a
it.
new one.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a question here from folks online this morning, and we have Joel is saying he didn't hear if a passport is renewable after 5 years. It is renewable after 5 years, as the caller previously asked, because after 5 years it is renewable, right?
Yes.
All right. So, as the officer said, it is renewable. Let's take another call. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
A pleasant good morning. In the interview, I heard one of the officers stating that she went to the United States, had a baby there, and came back having to apply for passport for that baby, a Grenadian passport. Would that child, because of the mother giving birth in the States, be an American? If not, why then a mother goes to, let's say, New York to have a baby? I find this is utter nonsense.
Thank you, caller. Thank you there for your question. I think I understand where the caller is going, but we were talking about obtaining a passport by descent. By
yes.
descent.
Yes,
You understand, by parenting. So,
it doesn't mean just the U.S. Wherever a Grenadian give birth,
whatever,
it could be Caribbean, it could be international. Wherever the Grenadian parent give birth. So once a Grenadian parent have a child overseas, that child is, and it's in our law, is Grenadian by descent. Yes.
Let's obtain another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Hello.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Good morning.
Caller, good morning. Would you lower whatever device you have in the background, please? It's kind of distracting you a little bit.
Turn
So
the TV down.
lower the TV down. And you have a delay. You ready, caller? Go right ahead.
My question is, I was born in Grenada, but I have 3 children who were born in London. When we went to acquire passports, we were given forms that said they all needed to have medicals. Nobody can tell us why, and they weren't able to submit their passport forms without these medicals. Can I have an explanation as to why that was given to us? And this was the latter part of last year.
Okay, caller. Officer, are you able to respond?
Okay, so last year, I believe it was sometime in June, the process had slightly differed where persons were advised to register for citizenship by parentage.
Okay.
However, we have since went back to the original. So
what was the original form before?
The descent.
By descent.
Yeah,
what I discussed, yes.
Okay.
So caller, you can come back to the office with your children if they are above the age of 16 or wherever they are in the diaspora, and you can apply for the passport using only the birth certificate without going through the registration process.
Yes, because she's speaking about the registration process where they have to do a medical. Yeah, and as Ms. Patrick clearly stated, if they're over 16, because once you're over 16, you need to appear in person. So we just want you to understand that, Miss, that if your children is over 16 and they're in Grenada, they need to be here in person at the office. If they're not here, as you stated, they were born in London, so we have an office in West Kensington. So they need to present themselves before the office, the officers there, to apply for their passport.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a question here from someone online is asking, why do they have to pay more for a passport in the diaspora and which is twice getting it home?
Well, $1 is $1 wherever you are.
All right. Let's take, we will take one more call in this segment, then we drew for a break. Let's take this call and then we take a break and come back. Lost that caller there, so which means we go directly for the break. Let's take a break and we come right back, folks. More of your phone calls, and we continue with our conversation with the immigration officers. We're coming right back.
Get ready to witness the ultimate sporting spectacle at the Horizon National Athletics Championship 2023. This two-day event is taking place on March 11th and 12th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium with a jam-packed schedule of middle and long-distance races, sprint races, field and jump events. This is an event not to be missed. Come see Track Blazers, Ace, 473 MVP, Fusion, Rising Stars, Velocity, New Track Club, and schools will be competing to showcase their talent and vie for national supremacy. This is the final opportunity for athletes to qualify for the Carifta Games. Admission $20. Children under 12 can enjoy the excitement for just $10. Also, don't miss out on the big showdown in the senior men's 400 meters between Commonwealth semi-finalists Michael Francois, Adian Peters, Troy Mason, and Sibele Felix. It's the Horizon National Athletics Championship, March 11th and 12th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Get your tickets now.
Wait to see my granddaughter.
Welcome back once again, listeners and viewers. It's to the point for today, Thursday, the second day of March. And we have the Immigration Department with us this morning here on the program. Now, before we continue with the phone calls, and listeners and viewers out there, you're free to call in from time to time if you do have a question or two that you would like to ask. Let's say, for instance, I have to travel to the U.S. tomorrow. And somehow today I found out, well, there's an issue with my passport. You understand? How could the Immigration Department accommodate me with that?
Okay. When you say issue, meaning it's expired.
Well, maybe it's I need to go to tomorrow and I found out, hey, my passport is expired.
Okay.
Right. Or there's some issue with it, maybe moving around and fell into some water or whatever. How could that be accommodated?
All right. So, in relation to if the passport is expired, because that happens a lot of times to persons, they go into the States, and a matter of fact, sometimes the same day, they're on the airport checking in, realize the passport expired. We always tell persons, don't be afraid when that happens. We can assist you, because our department mantra is customer service, quality customer service to all.
Because sometimes, not cutting on, sometimes people don't always pick their passport up and look at it.
At all, yeah, and we understand that, yeah.
You don't always pick it up and be looking at it to make sure, well, I have enough time on my. You just maybe didn't pay attention until the last one. I remember having that problem with my mom, God rest her soul, and got on the airport and realized her passport is expired.
Yeah. So as I was saying, we provide quality customer service for all. So you reach on the airport and you realize your passport is expired. You don't need to stress, worry, fear. Call the office, let us know, and get yourself to the office. Right? We provide, we have services that we provide. So in a situation like that, you call ahead, you let us know. So any one of the supervisors or Ms. Patrick, anyone, get the call. We will inform the persons at the desk that someone is coming, their passport is expired, they need to catch a flight. We know what we do in the department. So that person will come up to the office, they complete the form, they pay for the passport, and we have a service that we offer, which is called the emergency service. And so you pay additional $100 and you get your passport one time, in time to catch your flight. We provide that. It could
be 30 minutes, an hour, just depending.
10 minutes.
10 minutes,
yeah.
Wow.
And that's what I'm saying to you. A lot of time that happens to people, and they catch their flight, they get their flight in time, and they enjoy, they go wherever they're going safe. Also, we have an express service where you can pay $50 and you get it the next day.
Okay, yes. Interesting. I'm seeing a question here from someone online is asking. It's pertaining to the question, and I think you did answer it already. And they're saying my original passport, that is my first passport, is it extended in terms of when it expires, or is that I get a new one? I think you did mention that because of the new features and stuff. Then that, well, you could probably say more than better than I would.
So we don't extend passport. Every time you apply, you get a new passport, which comes with a new passport number. And that's a question people always ask, if I get the same passport number. No, you don't get a new passport number. We renew the passport, so we don't extend on it, we don't add time to it. So you apply, you get a new passport number.
Okay, so I guess that answers the individual's questions.
Yes.
So in a nutshell, you need a new passport for whatever reason, it's expired and you want to be offered. So simple as that. All right. Hey, don't forget, folks, 435-2041. If you do have a question or two you'd like to entertain with the officers, I'm certainly sure they would like to. Or they will be able to answer you. Now, is there anything that we didn't touch in terms of the services that are offered that you may want to chip in before we move on?
Well, if I should add to the services that we just been speaking about, and as Mr. Alexis was saying, that we offer quality service, and yes, we have the record for that, if I should say, right? So we have the emergency service and we have the express service. The emergency is within 24 hours. The express is within 48 hours. As we earlier stated, a passport takes 3 working days to be processed.
Okay.
The first-time applicant may be a little longer since we do our investigation to ensure that you're a citizen of Grenada and make sure you have no violation with the law. So we must do our checks and balances before issuing a first-time applicant.
All right. I guess you would want to know if that individual is legit in terms of the information that they give.
Yes, so
All right.
we must do
All right.
our checks.
Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. Guess we lost that caller there. Am I moving too fast on the phone? I'm not too sure. 435-2041. 435-2041. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Welcome again. I would like to find out, based on one question I previously asked about the new passport, if you didn't travel or you didn't use it, would they advise that you do not renew it or do not apply until you know that you may travel? Would they advise that? Or if you once it expires, you should renew it? Or can you wait until you know you're going to travel before you go and apply for a new one?
Okay, so caller, the choice is yours. Most people will like to have a valid passport in their possession because you never know what life may bring, right? So you may have an emergency and you need to get out. Maybe it could be a weekend. So a lot of people would like to feel comfortable knowing that they have a valid passport in their possession. But at the end of the day, the choice is yours. Some people would say, oh, I don't have to travel anywhere now, so I don't need a passport. When I'm ready to travel, I'll apply for a passport. We hear that every day, okay? But some people like the comfort of having a valid passport in their possession because life is unpredictable. You never know what could happen, when it could happen. God forbid someone could fall sick. It's the weekend and they need to get out urgently. So to take comfort, people prefer, hey, let me have a passport. You never know what could happen.
Certainly agree. You just want to make sure you have it in hand.
Yes,
It's like having a little put away money.
Yeah, of course. Yes, correct.
You know your passport is like that sometimes.
I know I have to go to the office on a weekend to produce a passport because someone fell ill. The hospital or the doctor may call to get the officer in charge, and then I would get a call on the weekend. Ms. Patrick, you need to come in to assist in making a passport. Sometimes even in the night. We will come out to the office to facilitate people, maybe an air ambulance came in to pick up that person. So we always advise person to be safe. Sometimes you may want a little money to do something else, but if you have the passport, it's better to be safe than sorry.
All right. Hey, folks, let's take a break. We're coming right back with more here on To The Point. Stay with us, folks.
Duty Free Caribbean.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
No, that's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Hello, Grenada. It's TGIF time again with the NLA. Thank goodness it's Friday. Every Friday in March, place 5 bets or more in a single ticket purchase on Cash 4, Pick 3 or Play Away. You automatically receive a quick pick inline ticket valued at $1. NLA is giving back more plays, more chances, more opportunities, and more prizes. Remember, when you play, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building. Promotion ends March 31st. You must be 18 years and over to participate.
Welcome back once again, listeners and viewers this morning. It's to the point for today, Thursday, the second day of March. Viewers and listeners out there, if you do have a question you'd like to, of course, ask the officers, please feel free to do so. Officers, let me ask this. For especially, there's a lot of folks who are viewing us right now there in the U.S., Canada, other parts of the world. Give us some information pertaining to how the process of obtaining a passport over there, maybe locations that folks you may have that information that you'd like to throw to them, especially countries out there that Grenadians would like to obtain a passport, but maybe they want to know that and give that bit of information.
Okay, so we have various offices out there in the diaspora. In the U.S., we have 3 offices. We have one in Miami, there is one in New York, and also Washington, which is the head office. Okay, we also have in London, we have an office in Trinidad, we have one in Jamaica, we have in China, we have also an office in Venezuela. So persons out there in the diaspora, if you find it's easier for you to apply over there, you can have the same services to you. And you even can pay for the express service if you want it to be expedited. So the express service is not only offered here in Grenada, but also in the diaspora. Okay?
Right. Okay. We do have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, GT. And how you do?
I'm doing fine. What about you? Good morning.
Very well, thanks. Good morning to the officers there. Officers, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, I could only speak for me, my opinion. I personally do not think that $250 for a 5-year passport is too expensive. Meaning this, a Canada passport is more than that when you break it down to EC. Now, when we local travel to the States, the most important thing that who has to get a visa, get the visa. And when you go to America, England, Canada, you have opportunity to do a little babysitting, a little something. Everybody, they do a little turn hand, as we call it. And you do a little babysitting, you might be getting $100, say US a day, or $50. It depends. You make back your money much more than that in 1 week. and then you have the opportunity to travel, to relax or whatever, But you could make a money if you get a 6 weeks visa, 6 months visa. You could make a good money there and come back. And the plane fare. Nobody will tell you to get a passport and keep it for 5 years and don't use it. If you feel to have a passport for in case of one of your relatives sick or something, that's by choice, which is a good thing. But the passports in general is not too expensive. We had to leave. Just now you are calling for is a pay. We had to pay all you. But I tell you something.
Caller, take another 30 seconds on that, please.
30 seconds. When we come to you all must treat us nice. Treat us as we important. Because some of you all officers, believe me, that is when we cry and we paying too much money. Just the attitude of some of you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a great day yourself. Let me ask this. Someone is asking this question here right now. And it goes back to a previous question that was already asked, and you already answered it. But they're saying, in terms of the process of obtaining a passport, if you were born outside of Grenada, and they asking if there's any additional fees for that.
No, standard fee, $250 for everyone.
All right, so
yes.
Whether you're born outside Grenada,
or you're born here,
and you're born here,
registered,
getting a passport by decent,
$250, everybody.
All
Standard
right.
fee for passports.
All right, let's take another call. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, GT. Good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
I would like to ask a question. Some time ago I was traveling and I had a bottle of cologne. When I got to, I don't know if it's immigration or customs, they had to look into your bag to see what you have. And the lady just took the bottle of cologne from me. She said, "You cannot go with that," and she threw it in the garbage, which I thought was very unfair and unkind in your presence. And that bottle of cologne, my daughter brought it to me from America. I just want to ask if that bottle of cologne remained in the garbage or it went somewhere else. That's all. Thank you.
I would say there's maybe you could explain that for the viewers and listeners out there. There's a difference between custom officers and immigration officers.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
I believe she's speaking about airport security.
Mm-hmm.
It's not customs or immigration. Remember, when you're checking in on the airport and you're traveling, you're not allowed these bottles beyond security because you cannot go on the plane with that. That bottle of cologne or perfume should have been placed in your check-in luggage. So I think it should have been there and checked in your luggage, because you would not be able to board the flight with this bottle of cologne. I cannot tell you what happened to the bottle of cologne after that. That's not immigration.
Yeah.
That's airport security.
All right. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Yes. What I'm checking on is that the question of the 250 for 5 years. So you do 250 for 5 years, you didn't travel. You do it a second time, you didn't travel. You do it a third time, you didn't travel. That's $750. Per person, paying the state $750. That's ridiculous. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you there for your contribution this morning. I'm not sure if it's something that you can answer to, but
Well, all I can say is a choice. The government or the immigration department don't demand or compel persons to apply for a passport. Persons apply for a passport for their use.
and they can't tell you to travel or not to travel.
Exactly.
You understand?
So
It's a
I
choice.
believe persons have a choice. If they apply for a passport 3 times and they didn't use it and they want to continue, that's up to the individual. But there is no nothing compelling. There's no law compelling a person to be the holder of a Grenadian passport.
You could don't have one, or you
don't
could
have.
you need that
There are
one.
a lot of people in
You
Grenada
could don't
who doesn't.
you could go get a passport and don't travel.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Right. Anyway, good morning to you, caller. I guess we lost that caller there. Anyway, 435-2041. Just approximately 3 minutes left on today's program. We're probably going to come up with a summary of the what we spoke about shortly. Lest we can entertain this caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning. If you obtain a passport and you travel, that is not a government business. That your business. Like you buy something and then you don't use it, you can bring it back to the store and get your money back. So back to you.
All right, caller, thank you. I think we already gave an explanation for that already. So, officers, we did speak, a whole lot about the different processes this morning in terms of, the process of obtaining the passport, some of the services. I'm not sure if there's any final bit you want to throw because it's almost time for us to take a wrap this morning.
Just to sum up, we just want to advise everyone that once you hold a Grenada passport, and you heard what I use hold because we are all holders, we are not owners. Passport remains the property of the government of Grenada, and that's a note that is in the back of the passport, so you must always read that footnote. So once you're a holder of the passport, we just want to advise you to keep it in a safe place at all time. As Ms. Patrick clearly stated, when you go to the bank, you go to Western Union, you go to MoneyGram, and you use your passport, we advise you to keep it safe. Keep it away from children. Keep it safe in the hurricane season. You seal it properly in water resistant containers and stuff like that. We want you for your next 5 years of holding the passport that you always keep it very safe because it's an important document and it has two main purposes: travel and identity. Both self-explanatory. It's your passport that you hold, your information, so we do not want you to give anyone your passport or your passport in the hand of any undesirable persons. We want you to be safe and we want you to keep it safe at all time.
All right.
Okay, if I should add last thing before we go. Persons applying by descent, right? Ms. Alexis indicated that you have to produce the two birth certificate and you must see the connection with the parent name, right? In doing so, let's say the spelling may be slightly different with the parent name on either one of the birth certificate. It means that we would not be able to prove the descent. All right, it means sometimes if the birth certificate cannot be altered, it means therefore that you may have to register. And we're not telling you that is not your child. All we're saying, we cannot prove the descent by the documents you produce. So in that case, you may have to do an affidavit, which is an additional document. And in that case, we would advise that you register to obtain a passport. And I know a lot of people may find it's difficult to do that, and the passport office this, and but we want to urge people to understand the process. Descent is a straightforward process, and it's only the birth certificate that is needed to prove the descent and no additional document. Anytime you have to get additional document to prove descent, then we advise persons to register, and this is done at the Prime Minister's Ministry, that's in Home Affairs, right? And it may come with an additional cost, I know, which may be upsetting to some people. All right, so I just wanted to leave that here before I go. As Ms. Alexis stated, I must reiterate in terms of securing the passport, right? It's an inconvenience to you, and it gives us more work because it means that if a passport is lost or stolen, we have to do our investigation. Okay, so I urge persons secure the passport at all times. Okay, as she stated, a passport is the property of the government of Grenada, and you want to keep it safe. And in cases of lost stolen, do not hesitate to go to the police station once you're exhausted all of your searches. The next step is to make a police report. All right, because you would need a copy of that police report when you come in to apply for a new passport. All right, so it gives you double work because you will have to apply to the Commissioner of Police after making the police report at the police station. And after you apply to the Commissioner for a copy of that report, it's an additional cost again because it's $10 to get a copy of your report. Okay?
All right.
So urge persons to secure the passport at all times.
Officer, I want to thank you once again for being with us this morning on To The Point. Hope we could do this in the near future. Probably come and expand on the information that we shared this morning. Thanks again for being with us. I want to thank all who, of course, called and participated this morning. Have yourself a great day. Join us again for another edition of To The Point. This is where we say goodbye.